Ever wondered how you could be superhuman as an agent? Well, we'll reveal 6 reasons why we think Chat GPT 5 will make you superhuman. Welcome to Real Estate AI Flash, the podcast dedicated to real estate professionals to demystify AI and give you practical strategies that you can apply to your business today. I'm your co-host, Rajeev Sajak.
And the other co-host, Jimmy Burgess, and we are excited for you to be a part of this. If you haven't had a chance yet, make sure you go out and that you subscribe to the podcast. Also, we would really appreciate if you could leave us a review. It helps us spread the message that as a real estate community, we are stronger together. Now let's get to this episode.
Welcome to another episode of Real Estate AI Flash. And this one's going to be a good one, Jimmy, because we're seeing teasers from Chat GPT for GPT-5. And Jimmy and I are going to go through 6 reasons why we think Chat GPT-5 will make our agents superhuman.
Hey, listen, you know what's cool about this, Rajeev? This is like we're seeing this, but if I went back and I listened to one of our earlier episodes, just a year ago, 6 months ago, what does that look like now on how far we've come? Well, this is almost a little bit of a glimpse into the future, but it's right in front of us. When we're saying the future, it's the near future. And that's what's pretty exciting is listen, if you're an agent, you're listening to this podcast, stick around because this one is going to be one that if you listen closely, I think you can get really excited about what the future holds.
Yeah, for sure. So as we're recording this, by the time we release this, it's very likely that we'll see GPT-5. It's that close, right? So, what prompted us to kind of do this episode was GPT-4o was released a voice assistant that is available for some select people. And we're bummed that we haven't gotten access yet because they're testing stuff and all good. But recently, Google launched their Pixel phone at their Google event, and Google launched Google Live, which was their voice assistant. And we talk about Apple Intelligence. All this stuff is coming together. And what's wild, Jimmy, is that this voice assistant is today in ChatGPT, you could speak to it. But what happens is when you speak to it, it converts voice to text and then text to processing. And then you have to have it speak back to you. Whereas the voice assistant, I think, is going to be a game changer because we talk about custom GPTs, the agent skills one that we did. You could literally have a conversation at a real live role play in just talking to it. And I think that's the power of voice assistant. And I think it's just going to take off audio computing.
You know what I'm excited about that is I'm with you. I think the script playing or the role playing is going to be amazing. I think just asking questions throughout the day of, hey, I need to speak with this person about this. Give me an idea of what I might start the conversation with. And it's just going to be like having that person sitting in the seat beside you, giving you those ideas. The other thing I like is that sometimes like when we use text now where we just put something in, there's not a lot of context to it. What I'm excited about is to see how much of it does it ask additional questions for clarification or give you the opportunity. Whereas like if you were to say something to me, Rajeev, and I'm not sure about it, I would just ask back. So how does this look from a standpoint of making it become even better? And also just having that ability to, just be like you're having somebody sitting right beside you who's the smartest person you could have. They're right there to help you in real time. It's going to be amazing. So yeah, I'm super excited about this.
Yeah, AI assistants, the dream is no longer a dream. It's coming, it's happening as we speak,
Hey, you know what too, Rajeev? I've seen this like with my son. My son wakes up and he says, what's the weather going to be today? He's using, voice already. So when we start moving this and shifting this to the business application, I think as you see that generation that is in college now, those younger employees, those of us that may be a little more seasoned, let's say, that we're going to really need to catch up in some of these aspects because I think they're already coming in with a basis and a foundation in this that is going to be easy for them to convert. Now it's just a matter of us just joining in the times. And instead of just asking Siri to give us a stopwatch in 14 minutes because we're trying to cook something in the stove, we're going to start using it as far as voice activation with everything we're doing in our business as well.
For sure. The possibilities are endless. And we'll include a link in the show notes. Jimmy, you and I have seen this. I sent this to you on Instagram. Audio computing, a TED Talk from April 2024.
Really good.
That was talking about how I could literally, as an agent, I don't understand Spanish, but I could, with audio computing, talk in Spanish where the other person is understanding in a different language. So there's a lot of options that are going to open up with true voice assistants. So that's first reason I think that's going to make you superhuman. The second one has been teased since late last year, Sora, text to video. And that whole thing is being reinvented as we speak. So it's been out there for a few people. And some of the influencers have been saying this is the next best thing since sliced bread. We've seen innovations with Runway and some of the other similar tools. So Sora packaged into GPT-5 could make you a video producer.
Very quickly. And it gives you the opportunity really to, it's only limited by what you can think about. And from that standpoint, as you do this, it's going to be another one of these. I love when these new things come out, just playing with them a little bit and seeing what the possibilities are. And every single time that I've done that, my mind gets blown by the opportunities. And I think this is going to be another one of those when you're talking about text to video.
Yeah. So second reason for you to be superhuman, become superhuman. The third one is Search GPT. And we did an episode not too long ago about this, but it's been rolled out. Again, we're bummed that we don't have it yet. We hope to get it anytime soon. And this is a direct competitor to Google's AI overviews. Perplexity is the leader in this space. But imagine having Search GPT having conversation and produces results with links to sources. So all that's coming together very nicely in a conversational interface, which people are used to.
No, and listen, I mean, again, I know they can listen to that episode before, but one of the things that we talked about in there is that as we continue to see this, it just becomes more like having the ability to ask the smartest person that you've ever met and get a response instead of just having to filter through like these Google searches. So yeah, this is going to be super exciting as well.
And the next one is expanded context window and memory. So for those of us, if you go to some of our earlier episodes, we talk about hallucination. It has a tendency to forget things. And because it has a limited memory, just like human beings, everybody's got limited memory.
Yes.
But what if the memory is much more, and we're hearing all sorts of information around the fact that it's going to have pretty large context windows, which means it can remember a lot of things in a certain conversation. And I'm hearing you can upload a book that's 30,000 pages and it'll remember every word of it. So just think about that. I mean, you're like a librarian, but you know everything in the library, and that's the power of the context window and memory.
It's one of these where as people get older, we begin to remember certain things and forget certain things. This is actually going to continue to get better with time, which is something that is, like you're talking about, this is superhuman memory that we're talking about here, because I mean, I find myself not being able to remember certain things from just a few weeks ago, that maybe I've been doing. And so this is going to be really interesting to be able to tap back into some of those previous conversations. I think this is great in the short run. But man, imagine as an agent that you've had these conversations or you've done these things with AI, and a year from now you say, reference back to when we talked about this, and it's able to remember that conversation word for word. It's got it all there, and it just responds back in that way. That's something that I think that's going to be really, really mind-blowing to those folks that embrace this and actually start using it.
Yeah, for sure. So the fifth reason why we think you're going to become superhuman with GPT-5 is enhanced language understanding and generation. So think about, this is the enhancement of the base model. Like where we were with GPT 3.5, 4.0, 4.0 mini, and 5, the underlying engine is getting better and better and better. So it's fair to say that a year ago, when we put something into Chat GPT and the same input today will get a better, more accurate, more human-like response. So this is like the plumbing of it's not fancy, but this is the one that's driving the engine of other things we're talking about. So I'm excited about this as well.
Yeah, and it's the foundation that's going to build, that everything's going to be able to be built off of. And so as it gets better, everything gets better in regards to this and every single way that agents are going to be using it.
Yeah, and the next one is probably the biggest, I think. And if you look at all of the writings about AI, generative AI, there are 5 stages, they call it, Jimmy. Like think of, autonomous driving, fully self-driving. Right now, it's like, it's getting there. We can see that we're going to be there at some point. Everybody's clear on that vision. With AI, there's 5 stages. And the 5th stage is what they call as artificial general intelligence, AGI, which basically means that it is capable of doing human-like tasks without supervision. That's AGI. And we're currently at level 2. So GPT-5 is going to start to introduce what they call as autonomous AI agents, which I think can do certain things. If you create a process, you have pictures, you got to upload it here, you got to do these 5 things after that. an agent can do that. And I'm not talking real estate agents, I'm talking AI agents.
Right.
So this is a sneak preview, early indication, but a year from now, this thing is going to be fascinating.
This is the part where people start getting nervous. Yeah. This is literally like we're looking back in time to the old movies that we never thought were going to happen. This is the opportunity for us to see the ability. So I've thought of it this way. Think of yourself as having this, basically set up as like a marketing specialist. I mean, just asking it, say, please act as a autonomous marketing agent and assist me with all the marketing that I might need to help me sell this home, and give it the information on the home. And all of a sudden it spits out flyers, it spits out copy, it spits out, Facebook ad programs, whatever is needed. It just does it on its own without you telling it what to do. You're just giving it general ideas. And that's where this thing gets really exciting, because now all of a sudden, like you say, every single person can be a superhuman, in this case, marketing agent, by just simply employing this into their business.
For sure. And, what's interesting is, for me, AI agents is just I believe, and I think you agree with this, that 80% of our tasks in the next 2 to 3, 5 years are going to be AI assisted in some capacity, not AI, yes. AI assisted, because we still believe that 20% of it is the human interaction that can never be replaced by AI. So our goal really is to master AI to the point where your 80% is very efficient, so you can do more of the 20%. AI the ordinary, so you can personalize the extraordinary.
Absolutely. Listen, if you're an agent or anyone that's listening to the podcast and you're getting some value out of this, do us a favor and go out and make sure that you follow this podcast, that you make sure that you left us a review. It helps us spread the message that we're all stronger together. We'll talk to you guys soon.
This podcast has been produced by TSC Studios. Music is courtesy of Soundstripe. Audio and video editing is provided by Noah Escobar, graphic design by Melinda McKnight, and special thanks to Jordan Wilson of Your Everyday AI for the inspiration and expertise.